Hello guys and welcome back to a new live stream in our channel. Thank you so much for your time for watching our live stream. I really appreciate it. And yes guys, welcome. How are you doing? How's everything going with you lately? And I hope everyone here has a good day. So as you can see, we're back on another day here trading the order flow. Yesterday was actually a great day for us. We made good results actually, and many people enjoyed yesterday's live stream. So let's see what today holds for us, and let's expect the better to happen today. So how's everyone's day starting already? How's everything going with you right now? I wish everyone's having a good time, and I hope it's gonna be a good trading day for you and me. So as you know, today we had uh, an important meeting that would influence the market today. So today is a very important day for the market. President Donald Trump is visiting China, and today they held the talks. He arrived yesterday, but today he had talks with the president in earlier in morning in China. So let's see what this can do for the market today. So as you can see, we've hit a new level. We're close to 7,500, and yes, we hope it's going to be a good trading day. So thank you guys, thank you so much for joining this live stream. And yeah, if you got any questions, just let me know in the comment section. So let's see if that's going to influence today's market, hopefully for the good. I mean, because we are mostly scalpers, that doesn't really um, does anything for us actually. So we don't really get influence through fundamental analysis here. It's mostly the market by itself, and we just speculate and analyze the market and see what's happening when we take a trade. So do not really rely on those type of informations in our trading. But just to keep it as a side note, okay, that's what I mean. So that's why you might see volatility today, you might see the market more active today, you might see the market doing some stuff. We don't know, is it for the good for us or the bad for us? Like, we don't really need to know whether the market is going up or down, generally speaking. Like, yes, we need to know, but it doesn't really influence our decisions. It mostly influences our trades, okay? But it's really my answer is quite, let's say, controversial. But if you know what I mean, the market will mostly do what it is supposed to do at these times. But now we just have to know where the market is heading to if we want to take a trade. So what do you guys think? What do you think of today's market? If you have any questions for me, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer all of your questions. And yes guys, let's just see and wait and see what the market is going to do next in today. So I hope everyone here has a good time, and I hope everyone here. So if you guys got any questions, just let me know, okay? What do you guys think of Trump's visits to China? Do you think it will have a big influence on the market? So we don't care if the market is going up or down. Just want to know if it's going to be influenced the by what is happening, okay? By what is happening. So I hope everyone here uh, give us some of their opinions about today's market. Do you think that the market is going on the right way or it's actually missing some stuff? So what do you guys think? Oh, what is happening in the market? How did we go from this level to this level? Something is wrong here. What's up? What's up, Dixdia? What's up, Dixdia? Welcome, welcome to the live stream. Welcome, Dixdia. How are you doing? Guys, Dixdia is being so productive right now. He applied. He also added music to the playlist. He switched the music. Yeah, you're good, you're good, you're fine, you're fine, you're good. You also want to go to the gym and you're also trading at the same time and talking to me. What a productive guy. If you guys want to buy someone, just buy Dia. Trust me, he's gonna do all the tasks you want him to do. He's a great guy, he's a great guy. If you wanna buy him, just send me a message privately and I will send you the link to buy him if you want. Or you can just invest in his stock instead. Like that's gonna be a great thing. We can analyze him later if you want. Like we can analyze Dixdia and see how is he doing. Thank you, Dixdia. Thank you, Dixdia. Thank you, thank you. Green, green, green. Dixdia is one of the best guys you can actually buy. If you guys want to buy someone, just buy him. He's a great one. He's a great one. Dix. No, that's okay. That's okay. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No need to be scared. No need to be scared. No, guys. Uh, like these type of emotions are not accepted here. Like we are spreading positivity. We're spreading good vibes only here. There is no need to actually like get scared. This is one, if not the most not productive, I mean, but positive and great communities you can find in the world. So Dexdia, there is no need to be scared. It's all good vibes in here. Like this good trade that I'm gonna take now. Okay, let's see what the market will do here. And then we'll sell Dexdia. So this is the Dexdia futures market. And as you guys know, um, okay, let me see what's gonna happen next. Yes, of course, Dexdia. I'm gonna buy you and sell you later. Of course. Let's make business together. Of course, Dexdia. Yes, yes, yes. In your dreams, yes. Of course, my guy Dexdia. We'll do a lot of business together. No, no need for that. No need for that, Dexdia. No need for. No. Don't get scared, guys. Who made Dexdia get scared here? Who made Dexdia get scared? Like we did not want Dexdia to get scared. Oh, I got all this profit and I didn't buy. Oh, Dexdia is happy now. Dexdia should be happy, I guess, because I lost the money. Dexdia, did you see? I got like I sold here. I could have bought here and made all this profit, but I didn't. I forgot to. I was busy in talking to you and I forgot to buy. Damn, that's a bad thing. Yes, of course. I'll explain to you how that phenomenon is happening. Especially Islam can explain it in English if you want, but I can explain it to you in a good way too, don't worry. So nobody knows about Massimo more than I do, okay? Nobody knows about him more than I do. And just for you to let you know, he's influencing the world in a very nonchalant and cringe way, okay? So if you see all the big headlines, all the big news, like today, one of the most discussed topic in the meeting between Trump and Xi Jinping was actually Massimo, okay? Like they were talking, they were having discussions about how to minimize the influence of this guy in the economic world and also the geopolitical one, because he's done a lot. First of all, the Iran war, Russia Ukraine war, Israel Palestine, lots of things that are happening in the world are mostly because of him. So it is very hard. It is very hard to actually tell you what's the real influence, but it could be a geopolitical and geo-economical one and an eco-political one. So eco-politics is a term that refers to economic politics, okay? And this guy is really influencing the world because of all the statements he makes every day, all the bullshit he does. The world gets influenced by that, and the world is loving it. That is the problem. The world is being okay into it, and the world just clocks it, it just clock it all the time because it's giving influence vibes, it is giving influence here, and that is the main problem. The world is actually given, like, if you see how he clock it, for example, he clocks it in a very hard way. It is very hard to understand how that works in the world of economics and the world of Gen Z also. So if I heard that some said that the German Prime Minister said that someone to chill. Yes, of course. That situation is called the chill syndrome, the chillophile. Chillophile syndrome is when something like that happens and the world can't do something but just, see how the world works. So the chillophile syndrome is something that happened actually 2 months ago, I suppose. He told someone to chill because they were conquering the business world and it was hard to compete with them. So he was like, oh, can you please just shut up? And Massimo was actually the one to give him the idea. So so this is one of the reasons where you can see the examples where Asimo is influencing the world. So especially in the current world situations, you can see that people go to nightclubs, especially Sam goes to nightclubs in the week, during the week, which is a very uh, not pragmatic thing. Like in the world of geopolitics, we call this the club during week symprophomia, okay? So we have a special word for it, and it's called symprophomia of going to clubs during the week. Like this is the name. It's so funny, it's so interesting. It was invented by Mark Zuckerberg, the famous Myanmar guy that you know about. He invented the word years ago, but we didn't. The world when it first was founded, the world didn't really use it. It wasn't familiar to the name until Massimo and Sam made it available and shown to the public opinion. So this is very important. Why am I telling you this? Well, because you need to understand how the world of symptomotophobia works, okay? We need to understand how the world of symprophobic, germanoplastic things work in this world, especially under the high patronage of the king, His Royalty, His Highness the King Mohammed VI. May God rest peace on him. Um, you can see that Peggy Gou also has some deep influence in the current geopolitical tensions happening, especially as the German guy the German Prime Minister, Mr. Frederick Rich, who needs to uh, chill for a while, which is a very interesting topic. We need to discuss that in one of our podcasts, okay? In one of the talks we hold, we need to talk about it, okay? Because it's not enough to talk about it for briefly, but you need to explain the situation in a very deep, explainful way. Let's good program may involve equality such as Claude Schwartz, AM, GM, or symmetry. That is true. That is true. I myself can tell you. I can definitely tell you that it is true actually, and we in fact studied it for a while. Like we had so many studies in the Dextia University. Um, we discussed that. We had previous studies with our PhD students where we talked about the situation. We explained that it was too hard to maintain that level, especially with the current market conditions. So the Koshi Schwartz was actually our professor back then. He was our professor. He's actually he is molested now. He's molested, and we cannot talk about him a lot because that's a very sensitive subject. So I suggest we move on from this subject and talk about something else because Koshi Schwartz is a very sensitive and complex topic to talk about in the current world situation. So thank you so much for your comment. It's good to hear that people really know all of these great and interesting topics. Like it's so interesting to have people ask me such questions. It just makes me believe that the world is still a good place. La Princesse de Clèves. Does the princess' decision to renounce love represent a victory of moral virtue or a tragic submission to the rigid values of the royal court? Wow. I am really deeply in shock to know that people still discuss such extravaganza important subjects in the big 2026. So if I want to explain to you, if I want to give you an answer deeply about the situation, it would take me years, if not decades, to explain the whole situation because it got a bit Massimo involved and Koshi Schwartz involved. So if I want to explain it to you, we have to go. You can answer from the question itself. The answer is in the question itself. So we can change our that now. So what does it mean? Her decisions to renounce love represent a victory of moral virtue or a tragic submission to the rigid values of the royal court. it would take me a lot of time to answer such question that would take me a lot of time. That would take me a lot of time, especially being a doctor in the world of geopolitics and also Princess Tukhlev politics also. If I want to answer, I would say that it is a tragic submission to the rigid values of the global court. But if I say that, I will also give a blind eye to the victory of moral virtue. So why? Because it's simply a transhomophobic Massimoish syndrome. Okay, that's an asymmetric thing to explain in the big 2026. So that's why I would rather not answer that question, but just be grateful for you to ask such question, because it just makes me believe that the world is still a place to think, and it's great to see people talk about such deep, meaningful things in 2026. So how does the universe of children let Mr. Muhammad transform the reality, the difficult reality of his life, to the books of Mervais? So if I want to answer, it would take me a lot of time to answer. First of all, why? Because that was from the past. So the current market conditions do not align with what happened back then. So it just made him do it so he can actually have a place to be safe. That was his heaven place, that was his safe place where he can talk to the world. Okay? So that was his place to talk to the world, where he could explain his emotions, he could meditate, he could drink matcha, he could do Pilates and everything in his book. So it took him a lot of time to do it, because it was very, very hard to answer such a question. So to answer such question, it would be something that would take us a lot of time, because if you know, he had a very traumatic childhood that made him become who he became today in today's world. So let that sink in and think about it for a while, because you would find the answer to your question in what I just said. If you are someone who thinks deeply, you would understand that. So the BAM was a very complex, subjectful, extravaganza thing to actually write back then. Because if you know, that period came with a lot of hardships for him, for his family, for his neighborhood, for his country in general, but he still managed to find time. And here we can see how he found time to write. This, the author wrote it so we can understand how did he wake up in the morning, like how he chose to say, I woke up in the morning and drank coffee. So a normal person would see that. He said, oh, I woke up and I just got my coffee. Like, what's interesting about it? But us, people who think, people who read, people who meditate and know the reality, who understand the world and how it is, we know that he doesn't mean drink coffee. It was his way to be out of the world, to be different, to be someone who thinks, because he wanted to become someone who thinks, who understands the world and how it is. And this is why it was very, very complex to answer such question. So if I want to summarize the whole thing for you, I would say that what made him do what he became today is his writing of the book, because that was his way to escape reality, to breathe, okay, to push his energy away and to meet his inner self and not stay with the demons he had in his daily life. So if you can see your question, his difficult reality in his daily life. So thank you for your questions. It was very, very meaningful, very philosophic to understand. It's good to see that people still think in the same way you do. So to make such questions, you should be someone who thinks a lot, who reads a lot of books. So how many books do you read a day? More like 50, right? 50 books a day, or how many? So I'm waiting for your next question. Do you have another question for me? Do you have any other question, Mr. Dix Dia? Doctor, rather, Dr. Dia, Dr. Dia. Mhm. So is Antigone a hero of courage or a figure of inutile revolution? How did the conflict between Antigone and Creon represent the OPO? That is that is something that I've been looking for someone to ask me such question for a while. Like I'm having a mental breakdown right now. I actually wanna cry because your question is so deep if you understand it. Oh, the opium. Opium. We're talking about opium. So this question is so deep. And for me to explain it, to answer, um, I got so emotional. I got so emotional to have someone ask me such questions. It just makes me be proud of the world and of you. So just be proud of yourself. Know that you're a great, great person, someone who thinks, someone who knows what he says. So she was a hero of courage. She was a hero of courage. She represented the poor, the mistreated people, the ones who always were weak, and she represented everyone in the stock market. She represented all the retail traders in the stock market. She was the one to create a courage to be someone who steps up, steps in to make the world an interesting place in the big 2025. So to, to make you understand that, we would say that she did something that is very, very important for the world. She was one of the greatest people to ever exist because she represents everyone in the stock market, from retail traders to everyone, against big hedge funds and big institutional traders. So if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't have the market in the same way we have it today. I mean, as you see, we took a great trade before, and we are still taking other trades now. And it was all because of her, because of her courage, because of her power and her strength to do so. So your question is actually very deep. I really, really appreciate having someone to ask me such questions now because not many people think like you. Many people discuss topics like you. That it's very hard. It's something that is very hard to find in today's world, in today's market conditions especially. So I'm so grateful for you to ask me such question. It really touched my heart deeply. Oh, oh, how does your brain think in the way you think? Because if someone asks you such a question, he is someone who understands the philosophy of life, who understands the afterlife and the psychotechologically of life. So really congratulations to you for being such an important and such someone who thinks like this. That is very important. If you want to answer the questions, we need to go back to the question itself because that's where the answer belongs. If we say the most annoying, if you go just to the last part of the question, the most annoying. Oh, I love the last question because you know the answer. You know the answer. Um, the most annoying could be the most annoying without even talking, which is you. Like Dixia, you could be the most annoying animal to play every musical instrument perfectly. I would choose to be able to play every musical instrument perfectly. Yes, that's very 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 hot. That's very, um, if we say in a way, it is very interesting. It is something that not all people are capable of doing. And if you have such courage to do so, you would be a very high value person. But what would you do? First, if you woke up invisible for one whole day, I would go immediately to Sydney Sweeney, of course. That is the only answer. Sydney Sweeney. If future you could send the present you one short message, what do you think it would say? I think he would say, stay away from this deer because it's gonna drive you crazy and you would become like him, asking philosophical questions. It doesn't affect you, but actually does. Uh, Oh, to answer this philosophical question, we would need decades, if not centuries, because it's very, very, very important to understand your question first if you want to answer. What is something you pretend doesn't affect you, but actually it does? Well, to answer such question, we need to go back to the philosophy of time. We need to understand time, first of all. We need to understand how Massimo influences the world, how going to clubs in the week does to the world, and then we can answer your question. Because it's very deep, it's very hard, it's very meaningful to know that people still ask these questions in today's world. So, what you would say is, what kind of feedback do you usually resist hearing from others? Well, I mostly try to stay away from negative people, yes. So, from negative and mythologically driven people, people who use mythologically, are very, very stratospherical in today's world. And the best thing to do is stay away from them and not intervene in their metaphysical world in the big 2026. So because it will drive you to a very asymmetrical, phenomenosophical world, and that would be one of the biggest mistakes that you will make. So the best thing is to resist here from them is the meta phrontocophoria things. What kind of feedback do you actually? Oh yeah, a habit or mindset has changed you the most in the last few years? Well, I would say the habit of diaspherin. So diaspherin is one of the habits that changed me a lot. So using the diaspheratory way was actually one of the bad things I did in my life. Actually, diastramocorical was something that really influenced who I am. How about you? Well, I feel most confident when I smoke some dia, when I inhale some dia. That's what I feel the most confident. What do you think people misunderstand about you? I think dia. They misunderstand the diatologically, diatology. They misunderstand the diatology way of how I use my life. That's what I think so. Change one aspect of my personality instantly. What would you do? Would you do it? Yes, I would change the diaphobia. Yeah, it would be diaphobia for sure, I suppose. Oh, it's so emotional to see such questions. People asking me such questions is something so deep, and so philosophical. It has many deep meanings into it, and it's very hard to see that. Okay, come on, get me the position. So these type of questions are actually very, very deep, and it's very, very hard to answer. I would say the fear of dia is first of all the main driver for motivation. The dia syndrome, and secondly the fear of failure. Why? Because if you desire success, you're basically afraid of failure. So you wouldn't say I'm afraid of failure because I desire success. I desire success because of what? Because of the fear of failure. So we need to go back to the origin of the thing if you want to answer a question. So let's say, for example, you love two girls. Who would you love the most? If it's number one, then you love the number two. Because if you love number one enough, you wouldn't love number two. So if you really have desire for success, you only have it because you're afraid of failure. You're not really afraid of failure because you want to be successful. So this is the main driver, the main reason. Why do we get sad when we fail? We get more sad when we fail than get happy when we succeed. Why? Because we are more afraid of failure than desiring for success. And this is my way to answer your deep ecological, dialogical question. Well, we don't do such questions here because they're not philosophical enough. Only discussing psychology, philosophy, and lifeology, dietology questions in this live stream. So I'm so sorry. It's very hard for me to uh, answer such questions. So I'm so sorry. Please, next to the next question, please. Thank you. Oh, time passed by so fast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You deserve a gift later. Yeah, they remind me of someone. They remind me of you. They are well. Looking at these emojis is a very, very philosophical thing. If I would answer that question, if I would just comment to those questions, just look at how the philosophy and the psychology of those emojis work. So that just makes me more emotional and more empathical for the world. Looking at these emojis is a big event that would happen once in a while. Why? Because if you see the way they look, you would think that life is all, oh, yes, yes, of course. So to answer your comment, I would say that's a very, very ecological thing. So by looking at emojis, you have found Jesus. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it a very important topic to understand? Isn't it a very complex, subjective, deontological thing to see in the big 2026? So you found Jesus in comments, in YouTube comments, emojis. That's a very stratospherical thing to see in today's world. Yes, of course, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Exactly what I mean. That one. Clock it. That part. Yes, yeah, clock it, clock it, clock it. It's giving snitch vibes. It's giving snitch vibes. It's giving snitch. Yes, of course. That I would say so. I would say so. I would say so, yeah. I would say the same thing too. It's very topological to hear such things from you, by the way. It's very topophobical. Mm. Oh, so the market blocked for a while. Oh, now it's working. So Dixdia, thank you so much for your time. I got so emotional and so philosophical and theological to answer your amazing questions. It was very touching my heart, melting my heart to see such questions being questioned from you. So thank you so much for all your amazing, deep, progressive, progressive, deep, soulful, tropical, Afro, techno, groovy questions. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a good one. Okay? Thank you so much. Goodbye.